in a given span of time or in a given day, in our whole life which we live, uh, when were the moments like every individual uh, remembered God. So either we go to temples, we think that we remember God, or when we are have lot of suffering, we remember God. Uh, we are facing the crisis in our lives, we remember God. Not otherwise. Not otherwise, because uh, a spiritual person remembers God every moment. But a person who is in the process of becoming spiritual will remember God only now and then. So there are some beautiful books in this world which can fill your uh, life or mind with beautiful attributes of God. So starting from Vishnu Purana, even all Vishnu Puranas, we have so many attributes of God. But I really don't know how many people have read it or understood it or have contemplated on that. So today, one of my favorite books of Torkom, this is the book 100 Names of God. This book is so, it's like a complete magnet. It's a magnet, like, whenever you open a page in this book, you will find an attribute of God which will really expand your mind and shows that the creation is so expansive that whatever problem we have in our lives looks so small. So that is why I want all you people to research about God. That is the only permanent thing. Uh, that is the only permanent thing uh, which will connect with us with the real cosmic source or cosmic force. So I would like to start this book by reading the essence of this book, because there are so many new people. Actually, we already have discussed 1 to 50 attributes in a class. Now we'll try to see some other attributes. Before that, I would like to introduce some literature which puts the real essence of God, which every Swaja yogi or any individual who is interested in, uh, if at all everybody, if they understand or they want to have connection with this God source, these books are the gateways. These books, the content of these books are the gateways, the subjective gateways to connect with this source. So his names are words of power. They are challenges for us. They are invitation for us to develop the attributes of God, to cultivate the essence of the names in our life. How profound it is to be occupied with the names of God. We say that God has names, but in reality, He has no name. How can we define something or give a name to what is nameless? And it is so great and so big, so deep and so vast that our names cannot fit Him. Yet, each name of God opens a new window within our consciousness to look at infinity, hear the call of infinity, and respond to infinity through striving towards perfection. Each day of our life, we must try to transcend ourselves and feel His presence every minute of our life. So, this is what is the essence of this book, and I hope you got to know. the beautiful attributes. Torkom researched for so many years, and he created this such a beautiful concept, that 100 names of God. We also published it in Telugu on the name of Devudi Shatanamavali. So we'll start off. 141. When we say 100 names of God, people sometimes think, how come God has 100 names? All these names are the attributes, the various sides of the diamond. It is one diamond, but there are many, many facets of the diamond. Also, each name is the diamond, and the diamond is all the names. But why have these 100 names? In ancient teachings, the great rishis and great wise people say that we must always think, feel, live, and act in the presence of God. There are some practices in the Middle East and Far East in which you always repeat the names of God. Whatever name you remember, you can repeat, or you can repeat hundreds of them. Actually, they have a string of 100 beats, and they start naming the first name, second name, third name, fourth name, and so on, counting on the beats. This exercise is not given to become mechanical in repeating the names and forgetting about them. There is a great secret in it. Every time you repeat a name, you are sounding one of the notes of the cosmic symphony. The symphony, the notes within you, is becoming orchestrated and complete. When you repeat the names with attention and with an effort to impress upon your mind the qualification of the name, then you bring that symphony within your consciousness, within your psyche, and you are resounding to the music that is in the spheres. Some people think that it is a mechanical process to repeat the names of God, but it is not mechanical. You can of course make it mechanical by thinking about something else while making your mouth repeat the names. That does not help. Actually, it helps a little because the vibration, the sound around you creates some purification. Science is beginning to understand that everything is vibration, everything is radiation. Even when you mechanically repeat the names, you are creating in your etheric body, astral body, and mental body a specific vibration which is tuning, orchestrating, integrating your aura, and building a powerful radioactivity which is repelling many physical, emotional, mental, spiritual attacks on you. That is what the names are for. But instead of repeating names mechanically, we can repeat them with understanding, impressing our inner consciousness, and slowly, slowly start a process of transmutation in your life. So this is what is our intention for choosing this book. So I will start with 62 chapter. The 62 chapter, the attribute of God is the everlasting, the ever living. One day I asked my teacher what ever living meant. He said, there is no end or beginning for him. He lives always. He lives throughout nature. He lives in every form. He lives in space. He lives in matter. He is the one who lives, and every life is an expression of that livingness. It is so beautiful. Sometimes you think that you are living. Actually, in reality, He is living through you. He is the living one within you. Another day, I asked my teacher, what is the ever living one? He said, come here. And he took me to his office, where he showed me a big bouquet of evergreen flowers. Do you know that violet flower that never fades? They were so beautiful. He said, remember, We collected these flowers 10 years ago. Still, they have the same color, the same beauty. This is a very, very small example for you of ever livingness. Now, he said, he is ever living, but when you unite and fuse your consciousness with him, you will be ever living. So now you ask, every day are we ever living, or only some moments of our life are we living? So that is what one has to sit and contemplate on this beautiful attribute of God. You can take it as a seed thought or anything, but it takes you into a deeper levels of your mind once you start thinking of this one aspect, one attribute of God. That is why we have chosen this book, Ever Living One. See, close your eyes and think about that. If you are 30 years old, okay, all these 30 years, uh, were we really a ever living one, or only some moments of our life we were living? Now you can understand your state of ever livingness. You will get a report inside you. You can really feel that. You can really know how much percentage of ever livingness is there in our life. So once you know, now you either go to meditation or you go inside yourself, and there is certainly a definite scope for every individual to increase that ever livingness spectrum. If you have 60% of ever livingness, you can make it 62% by contemplating on this word. If you have already 70% of ever livingness, you can make it 72%. If you have 98% of ever livingness already within you, you can make it 99%. See, one word, ever livingness, we can see so much of expansion happening within your life. People, I really, every time, whenever I feel contracted, whenever I feel like have a less space within me, I pick up this book and read 10 attributes. And after reading these 10, any 10 of attributes out of 100, I'm out of my problem. Practically, I have sensed it from past 10 to 15 years. I've been doing this. Such a beautiful book. People definitely think, when if I post a class that 100 names of God, then nobody will attend this class, because they think that he will be talking about the names of God means Ram, Krishna, Jesus, Mahavira. These are not actually what I wanted to tell you. Torkom, I love him so much because he has done a beautiful research on each and everything. This is what I think that every seed thought meditation is all about. You can do any kind of meditation. You can do anapanasati meditation, seed thought meditation, any meditation. But the point is the expansion of consciousness happening or not, is what every aspirant should really look into. And these books will help you a lot. Like, you are meditating, then are we becoming a ever living one, or are we becoming ever dead? uh, People are physically alive. I see people physically alive, but their emotional body is dead. They don't have emotions. We can see so many people. And we can see so many people who are physically alive, but mentally they are dead. They can't think other than their knowledge. We can meet so many people. Now, what is ever living means, we need to be physically alive, we need to be emotionally alive, we need to be mentally alive, and we should be spiritually alive. See, every moment, whenever we are spiritually dead, mentally dead, then a problem comes and attacks us. That is why even Jesus Christ says in his teachings, let dead bury the dead. He meant that not all people are dead. He always says that people who are physically, they think that they are alive, but emotionally, mentally dead, only such kind of people will meet people who are physically alive, but emotionally and mentally dead. That is what he was saying. Let dead bury the dead. See, there is so much. Every proverb or a quote or a saying said by a highly avatar consciousness person is so deep. It takes into a oceanic deep level. We need to penetrate into those sayings so that we touch the bottom of it. That makes us free of all problems. That collection is this book, 100 Names of God. So I expect everybody at least take some time and read either 100 Names of God or Devulu Shatanamavali is such a beautiful translation into Telugu. If people can't read English, they can take up Telugu version, which was translated by one of the greatest translators, P.G. Ramohn Rao Garu, and it's such an authentic book. This will increase everybody's consciousness every day, at least for 10-15 minutes. Think about attributes of God. Then the time you meditate or you become so natural, uh, you connect with the source, your intuition starts to work. Both your abstract mind and concrete mind will communicate in a more balanced way. These are all the advantages of reading this concept, like 100 Names of God. It makes you spacious. Your mind, mental space increases if you read these 100 attributes. This is what my feeling is. This is what I experimented with. That is why whatever worked for me. So I'm sharing these things with you because these things worked for me. Okay, next one. This is 66. The unique one. The unique one. Unique. The unique one gives me the feeling that there is no comparison with it. Can you compare God with anything? It, it is impossible. He is unique. If you sit and say the unique one and think a little, the unique one, suddenly you realize that there is something happening within your nature also. What is it? You suddenly realize that in your essence, you are really unique. You are really unique. Every human being is so unique, and that is why every human beings are so precious. Of course, we have tensions, we have emotions, thoughts, but finally we realize that everyone is unique who is not identified with his body, emotions, and mind, because then he is not unique. He is common. What this name is essentially saying is every one of you must try and strive to be unique. In your beauty, you are going to be unique. In your speech, you are going to be unique. In your creativity, you are going to be unique. What does it mean to be unique? It means you are not common anymore. You are not part of the cattle. You are unique now. You are somebody and something. Why are you somebody and something? It is because the unique one within you began to manifest through you. You are not going to be unique for the sake of uniqueness and for the sake of self-esteem or self-praise. You are going to be unique because you are manifesting the unique one through yourself. The more unique you become, the more you become him. The uniqueness of man is expressed when he blooms his own seed, his own individual potentials, without making himself common or pretending to be like others or like movie stars. Real uniqueness is in the uniqueness of his consciousness, his viewpoints, his ideas, his values. See how beautiful word. Every time I go into people, I meet lot of people. I come home dried out, thinking about lot of things which I listened. Again, I go into a very low energy state. I really don't know how to get the answer. Then first time I did not remember this thing. Second time, third time, spontaneously this word comes to me. All the things are existing because everybody are so unique. Once this word pops into my mind and I consciously see that word unique, all the things what I heard from 200 people or 300 people talking to them uh, is washed out from my aura, and I become so relaxed. Again, I go to the next meeting after remembering this word. I used to feel so much of dragging or resistance within me to meet people. I had so much of resistance. After reading these concepts, there are so many beautiful things within me started blooming or opening up. And one of the such beautiful attribute of God was the unique one. We hear daily so much of negativity happening in the world. Whatever precautions we take, but we have to hear all the negative things or see the negative things happening, or all the things which lower our vibration. It happens because we need to experience them. Why we need to experience them is because the amount of ununiqueness we observe uh, in meditation. If you are having a spiritual direction in life, we will understand our own uniqueness. So meditation or spiritual science or all yogic practices are nothing but which will teach you how unique you are, and that uniqueness needs to be manifested in your life. So we will be encountering so much of ununiqueness, most artificial things in our life, only because it reminds us that we everybody in this creation are so natural. It is a very big lesson everybody should learn, that everybody are a natural, unique individual. If you can keep this attribute of God and get registered in your mind, or it gets registered in your consciousness, then whatever is happening, you can feel a great sense of liberation if you understand this one attribute, the unique one. Everybody are unique. Osho is unique. Torkom is unique. Patrisar is unique. Jaggi Vasdev is a unique teacher. Everybody has their own flavor. Everybody has their own uniqueness. Then you feel free. You don't compare. You don't understand this uniqueness. You don't see, penetrate into this word called uniqueness. You start calculating and you start comparing things. All personality comparisons will make us so small, because we are so small because we never identify with our uniqueness. So if you want to be a big, spacious, more tolerant, then try to think about this one attribute of God, because this creation, the God created this unique creation, and in this unique creation, we are unique beings. We are unique beings in a unique creation. We are not ununique beings in a unique creation. We came onto this earth plane to discover, to rediscover ourselves, that we are unique beings created by a unique. God. See how liberating these attributes are. So the next attribute is the expeditor. The expeditor, he who brings things forward. Out of himself proceed all that now exists, but that is not the end. This is a continuous process with new energies, new forms, new configurations, new successes. The more our consciousness expands, the more he brings out new revelations from his treasury. He is the source of all that exists and also the source of all that will exist. He is all progressing, all revealing. Every second, a new light is revealed with a new meaning and a new significance. Like a river where every moment the ripples are different. His revelations are different and ever flowing. Of course, human being must like him. We must bring forward every day a new beauty, a new creativity, a new idea. We must be flowing like the river because our source is him. We must manifest him throughout our whole life. See how beautiful this attribute is. Every moment, don't we always think in three terms: past, present, or future. But the creation or the God attribute never thinks about past, present, or future. He always thinks about the moment now. If you can let go the past second, you will be new in the very moment. If you are new in the very moment, you will get a new idea and you will become a new person. If you don't leave the past second, you will be not be an expeditor. We always walk backwards with our minds, with our lives. We always, our minds are in the past, our body is in 2020s. Think about this attribute, expeditor. Always look forward, looking forward, always giving the best in the moment is what every individual has to cultivate by knowing the 100 names of God. These things are health vitamins, these things are success vitamins, these things are prosperity vitamins for every unique person. You just have to sit every day and think about any one attribute at a given moment, and that will expand your consciousness. That is what every meditator, every spiritual person to expand needs to cultivate is know 100 names of God. That is what my experience has been. I will read another contradictory or controversial thing. Okay, God, the postponer. One of the attribute of God is written as the postponer. Please listen, and the whatever meaning you carry inside your mind about the postponer will change. The postponer. This is a very profound name. He delays things so that cycles will meet each other. This gives us a chance to develop our patience and faith in him, and that all will happen at the right moment. In many things we hurry, but then we realize that if the things happened at the time we wanted, it would have brought disaster to us. Because of events, we became a few minutes late and we escaped a big accident. A friend of mine was cursing and crying when he could not catch an airplane. 2 hours later, he called me to say that all the people on the plane were dead. We must start to see God's presence in many things and see that He postponed things for the good. This is one of my favorite attributes because 90% of the people I meet or they ask me, sir, I'm doing meditation from 40 years or 40 days or 20 years or 20 days. I'm not yet enlightened. Each and every individual who comes to this meditation or spiritual science are so much in a hurry. And I always want everybody to read this attribute of God. Everybody are living a hurry life, a desperate life, and blaming everybody. Everybody may take our blames, but God knows when to give what to each and unique person because He has a facet of God or attribute of God is sometimes the postponement is because for your own good. If you can understand this attribute of God, 99% of the baggage we carry on our shoulders and in our mind, we can put down that like baggage down. People think of their marriage postponements. People think of they got married, but they don't have children. They think that somebody is cursing them. Nobody curses you from up or anywhere. Things will happen at the right time. If you can understand this, slowly, that is what he wrote. Because one needs to become more patient in spiritual growth, in meditation, in your inside growth. Without patience, nothing can be understood, nothing can be achieved, nothing can be seen properly. And what I could see in this my 25 years of journey is patience is the primary thing every individual should cultivate it before coming into this meditation path or spiritual path. The most prerequisite or primary thing is think about how much patience one has. If you have patience, you never see these postponements or hurry or desperateness in your inner growth. It happens. And without patience, without understanding the attribute of the postponer attribute of God, everything will become so fuzzy. It, everything looks so unclear, so turbulence. All these things appear in our emotional life and mental life because uh, there is lack of understanding of an attribute called the postponer. Such kind of incidents happens with everybody. Every individual, such kind of events or things happen to make you learn that patience is the highest virtue and everything is happening only because for your highest good. That is what one needs to understand from this attribute called the postponer. Now, I'll read one more attribute, the last one. This is the 74th, the last one. I spent maybe 1 month on this word. One of the names of God is the last one, the last. It is that presence that is seeing your actions, feelings, your emotions, reactions, responses, and also totally aware of what you are thinking. My goodness, if I talk about it, it will be one book because it cleaned so many glamours and illusions in my mind. What is the last? LAST. When everything is dissolved, he is still there. For example, in Indian wisdom, they say Mahapralaya. Everything comes and suddenly goes and disappears, and all forms dissolve in that great ocean. But that ocean is the last. Still, it is there. Your body goes. Later, your emotions go. Your emotional body, later, your mental body will disintegrate because it is so material, but you will remain. You will remain because you are. So, what happens if I have that consciousness? I have something in which I am anchored. I am not a boat floating in the ocean. I have an anchorage that I am the last. If everybody is lost, I am still there. In the movie Zorba the Greek, Zorba built something that was very successful, but then everything went down the drain. What what did he do? He started to dance because he knew that he is. Do you understand this? I was talking about this subject nearly 30 years ago. About 10 days after speaking about it, a woman called me and said, "You don't know how thankful I am to you." I said, "What happened?" "Well," she said, "everything burned at my house, the car and furniture, everything. But I stood above all of it because of your lecture." I said, "So what? It burned. But look, I am here." Do you see the psychological effect of it? I like to talk about these things because they are not nonsense. They are really practical things and they will help you. If suddenly everything is lost, or a hurricane comes and takes the roof from your house and cleans it, do you know what people do? They kill it themselves and they fall into depression forever because their belongings were themselves. When their belongings are gone, symbolically, psychologically, they are gone. They do not exist anymore because they are gone. If you understand this, it helps you not to identify with your belongings. You are the last one. Someone's father died and he came and told me how grateful I am to you. I said, "Why?" "Because you taught us not to be depressed and broken and dead when someone dies." That's it. He is gone. But you are not him. You are not in it because you know that you are the last. Nothing will happen to you or to the one who left this body. It is so important to know that you are the last and you are standing in your divinity. Think about the last. Do some meditation for 2, 3, 4 minutes and another day think about it because it is your consciousness that controls you. Make your consciousness better and more powerful, and your life will be better and more powerful. That is the dynamo behind it. See how beautiful. I just read only 4 attributes and 96 more left. See, now it is left to you people how to cultivate the other things. Such a wonderful treasure. Uh, we may not have friends in this world, but you have this book, then for 100 days or 100 years, you can just live with this book by knowing 100 attributes of God. Such a dynamo, such a beautiful, condensed, synthesized book. So this is what I wanted to introduce or reintroduce so that you take up this book, uh, or Telugu version, uh, and become a unique one, and then and only then we become co-creators. So one more book I would like to introduce, all this 1 month, because whatever I learned from Torkom, I never leave it. I always go search for similar things. I found so many other concepts regarding what was Vishnu Puranas talking about, what was Torkom talking about, what was Osho talking about. Then this year, I found a beautiful book, a similar book, like on the name of God, because this what really fascinates me. Every year I get something new regarding God, and this is one of the such a great book